Welcome to SoundBite, a low-carb, high-protein, bite-sized portion of that which makes America.
Your hosts for this morsel of Americana are Christy and I
and Laura Bynum. This week's SoundBite takes a look at that one high-profile, potentially powerful position in the highest echelon of government that is not elected and in some cases never even filled. A hint? So far only women have served in it. We're talking about the executive spouse, the First Lady. Our first First Lady was Martha Washington. She was 58 years old when her husband took office, and while she was averse to the public attention, Martha Washington set a standard of social grace for all first spouses to come.
The Constitution makes no reference to the spouses of elected officials, but Abigail Smith Adams, our second First Lady, used her position to learn about and then influence the then-forming government. Abigail Adams had spent a great deal of time traveling abroad when her husband was serving as America's foreign minister. Through these travels, she was able to acquire first-hand knowledge of various official ceremonies. She put this knowledge to work back in the United States. Amongst other things, Abigail Adams is credited with having instituted the first gala New Year's Day celebration in 1801, a tradition still practiced today.
In the middle of the 19th century, the country was embroiled in a debate that would become the Civil War. Such social duties became less seemly given the mood of the country and its administration, and consequently, the expectations of the First Lady changed. Mary Todd Lincoln, wife of President Abraham Lincoln, entered her role with a nation already divided. In addition to her social scrutiny, especially by those states already seceded, her son Willie died, and she became mentally unable to serve as First Lady. Mary Todd Lincoln moved out of the public eye, not even attending her husband's funeral when he was assassinated. Who has been your favorite First Lady?
Probably Eleanor Roosevelt.
Why?
She kind of spearheaded, first ladies being active, being activists, and making things happen, that socially that hadn't happened before.
When Franklin D. Roosevelt took office in 1933, he brought with him his wife Eleanor. She became the most politically active First Lady to date. She held her own press conferences, wrote her own newspaper columns, and held an official government position as Deputy Director of the Office of Civilian Defense under the then New York governor. She focused on helping the underprivileged, co-established the National Youth Administration, championed desegregation, and backed equal rights for women. Eleanor Roosevelt pioneered a new ground for the First Ladies who followed her, opening doors that had been administratively and socially shut.
During her time as First Lady, Barbara Bush worked with charities set up to increase literacy, decrease homelessness, and eradicate AIDS. Hillary Rodham Clinton, who was the first First Lady to ever become a United States Senator, was the most active in public policy since Eleanor Roosevelt. As chairwoman of the National Commission on Health Care Reform, Hillary Clinton presented legislation to Congress to address the following issues: increasing funds for cancer research, gun control, and ensuring that children have insurance coverage. She currently serves as U.S. Senator for New York.
Laura Bush has chosen to spearhead efforts regarding literacy and supporting freedom for women in all countries.
What do you think would happen when a man gets that role as first man when a woman is elected president? How do you think the man's role might shift from what the current perceived roles as for First Ladies is? Do you think that there will be some idea or some perception that maybe the president being a woman, and of course it being the first time there are going to be all sorts of challenges regarding that, but that the husband not influence the president too much in that manner?
I think it's going to have to be paramount.
How do you think that evolution of that role, for instance, as Dick Cheney's evolution as the most active vice president in history, would be accepted?
With a lot of pain, but like most things in this nation, even though there's a lot of pain that comes with change, change still comes.
Certainly one day this role will evolve in many ways its former caretakers never envisioned. One day we will have a woman in the office of president and a man in the role of first gentleman. And now for a little something to cleanse your palate.
If you ever became president and your husband became the first man, what job would you give him?
Helping me choose what the men would like.
And what?
Like if I was going to change the environment, like what men would like, if I was going to put up a new building.
SoundBite was written and produced by Christy and Laura Bynum. Music by Kevin Elliott.